Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. It's good to have you here. Celebrating. What are we celebrating? Well, it was supposed to be celebrating a revolution. It was a bunch of rich white slave owners. They didn't want to pay reparations to or make taxes to the British crown. So the richest people in the country, biggest thieves, rapists, murderers, just look at what's going on in Israel. Like the settlement thieves, the people who stole the most settlements. Imagine they just like, okay, we're fuck this government. We don't want to pay them. We're going to start our own. That is what the 1776 revolution was about. It was not equality for all. It was just a power dynamic that was captured in paperwork. Dynamic, and it's just like, we see treaties being avoided, just totally just overlooked. Like the same shit happened. It's like the least honorable people do the most evil shit. And then if they end up coming across the bag, the historical bag owning the rights to anything, they just tell the story. And then like the people who ended up getting robbed, they become the bad guys. They're the violent ones. When you're in a system built on theft, and it's just like a lot of Caucasoids, they celebrate the system because they view themselves as white. And and I hate to burst people's bubble, but the first victims of Western colonization were a bunch of pale-faced, blonde-haired, blue-eyed peasants. Like Irish weren't considered white until very recently, right? It's a political, like where if you ask someone's race, their race is human. A dog doesn't say, "Oh my," a dog's color. It's just kind of one of these concepts that we just cling to. And when it comes to one of the things I would love to learn from the revolution is, like we need to incorporate all voices, because like all of the founding fathers, they all had dirt on them. They all had that. Epstein Island wasn't the first Epstein Island, right? And a lot of people uh, they get, we our education system was set up by Epstein's predecessor, uh, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, uh, Robert Maxwell, and his McGraw Hill. That was like a messiah. That's why Americans. I grew up being told Christopher Columbus discovered America because Israel wanted us to think like, if these very fair skinned people come over, start stealing your land, killing your people, it's a good thing. We want, raping and pillaging and all that. We're bringing their technology. We're bringing the Chinese technology. And I love, I've seen people, like they talk about how China, they can't innovate, they can replicate. That was crazy. And it's just like, if China is replicating another country, show me where it is. Show me what part of America looks like Beijing. Show me one part where it's just like they're clearly replicating. Nah, it is time. And it's time. We need to stop talking about the 1776 revolution because we didn't finish the job. We still got some crooks and criminals running loose, and like they're in charge of the laws. And like the big surprise, they don't want to go after their own. That's why they said that if we went after the Epstein class, everyone involved with the pedophilia and the cannibalism and the genocide, our whole system would collapse because it's just like it's built on pedophiles, pedophilia, but just sick people. Uh, uh, and it's just like none of that has changed. So the revolution, the need for it continues. So and to all the poor Caucasoids, this is how you can tell if you're white, or at least you can be. I view the system as corporate supremacist because it evolved. Like they bring in a few colored faces to represent the empire. Your Barack Obamas, your Kamala Harris's, and shit like that. Um, they have to put on a face because you got to keep in mind most of our engineers are not from here, and they look totally different. It's funny when I see the people who are like, "Yeah, we invented this," and you look at the engineers of the technology that we all use, and it's just like it looks like they look like the people who were bombing with our foreign policy. Um, yeah, so it's, we need to stop building the tools that will be used to bring our demise. Um, and that's a lot easier said than done for some people because some people that's the only way they know how to make money. I was talking to someone who really didn't like the stuff the weapons manufacturer that he worked for with what they were doing, but it was like he was getting a wage he couldn't get anywhere else. And he was like, "What am I going to do?" I was like, "I feel that, but come on, you got to do better." I wish we had like something, where we can pay people for learning how to make their own food, building their own community. The truth is, we can because we subsidize those weapons, and I believe your budget is your moral. So if you got money to build bombs to kill people, and then you got suffering, you got more people in jail for feeding homeless people than going to jail for raping people on Epstein Island in America. That's an actual fact. And if someone did go to jail around the Epstein files, it wasn't someone who was in it; it was someone who was exposing it. Just like the only people to get in trouble for America torturing people in Guantanamo were the whistleblowers. That's why it's just like it's time. Your government needs to be overthrown. That's why um, I've been working with some radical groups, and yeah, they've already detained several billionaires and very powerful people who were wanted for crimes in other countries. So I don't want to give up the name, but it was Gil Bates and uh, Fo Ouchie, um, or Phony Ouchie. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more. But yeah, there's um, other groups, and we're just on the prowl. You see anybody? There's actually an app. You get to work with the Iranian government. Um, that you just it's kind of like Megan's Law, but it's politicians. Well, I guess it's very similar to Megan's Law because they got the same proclivities. But like you just go to where they are, you get pictures of them, you get money. Even just using the app, it's just like unlimited tap to pay for whatever you're doing, whatever you want to buy. As long as you're part of the program, you could just swipe it and it'll just pay for whatever you're trying to get. As long as it supplies for targeting their enemies, which is your government. Not that technology doesn't exist yet, but they're working on it. Doesn't it sound promising? It'd be like Napster for payment. It's just like and bring Napster back. I'm sick of commercials. That's but then again, you shouldn't be looking at your screen. That's not the revolution will not be televised. And one of the things that really I do have something. Um, I'm going to be putting together some kind of a competition. I got a few different official prizes from the FIFA stuff. So I was trying to figure out what to do with this. I don't really give a shit about any of it. um, I mean, the experience. I wanted to see Iran, just because I know they've been dealing with a lot of shit. Show support with them. That they're a part of the revolution. Um, they didn't call it the Iran American War. They called it the Epstein War. And if that's who their target is, like that's my ally. Um, and I'm looking forward to the first year of the new revolution, not this 1776 uh, whitewashing of history, glorification of sick people, putting slave traders on our currency. That's why it's kind of a good thing. The dollar's collapsing. We could join BRICS and get a new currency without a slave trader on it. It's like Killer Mike and Run the Jewels. One of the albums, they got to look at all them slave traders posing on your dollar. Get it? It's a reminder. Know your role, know your place. And to the broke caucasoids who really, like they're just like, yeah, we did it. We conquered you. We did. Like, keep in mind, you were the first victims. It does not behoove you to champion a system that leaves you behind. I always find it crazy when a broke motherfucker starts defending a billionaire. Like someone who actually works a minimum wage job. Like, oh yeah, fuck, this motherfucker, he's stealing our money, stealing our pension. Like, no, he earned his money. He earned his $1 billion. He earned it. Earned 100 billion. Earned $1 trillion. One of the things is I will never understand, and I guess the racist people wouldn't understand it either. Um, is how they can be so upset. It's like Somalis. Look at the Somali community in Minnesota. That's like a national thing. Even though the head lady running everything was a white lady, looked like she got these downtrodden members of a community, and she figured out how to just lowball them doing a bunch of work. But anyways, all of the money that all of those Somalis take, all of the Mexicans, all of the people who came over here, whatever benefits they got, pale in comparison to the $1 trillion that Elon Musk was able to accumulate from his connections to blackmailed pedophiles on Epstein Island. Um, this motherfucker made $1 trillion. What could you do with $2 billion that you couldn't do with one? Let alone three. What do you need that kind of wealth? What do you need a trillion? And like I said, it's subsidies. This is Elon Musk is a white person, right? Um, his family they got access to emerald mines because they were white in South Africa. To the exclusion of the people who were naturally from there. But then they started to kind of erode some of those rights. He saw more benefits in coming to America, getting trillions of dollars, $1 trillion in government subsidies. He's not from here. As a matter of fact, he is a big part of the reason why we don't have access to better electric vehicles like the ones from China or the Burkina Faso. They got a solar powered EV. I was wanting to support. But it's like I can't see any of this stuff because we have Elon Musk, not from here, and he's able to create policy that protects his businesses and gives him all kinds of advantages over people who are born in America. Uh, uh, Once again, I'm not like a xenophobic type, but I just find it ironic. Like we hate one group of immigrants, and we've got all this condemnation towards them. But one person has stolen more lucre than anybody on the list could ever even think about doing. $1 trillion. Name one other trillionaire. Like what show me, and for you to earn $1 trillion, how many Uber Eats deliveries would you have to make? Like you just got to up your schedule, like put that put a million Uber Eats deliveries a day on your to-do list, and you can earn your $1 trillion. It's definitely not just shooting out of the perfect rich dude's nutsack. And a lot of broke cockazoids will never be able to amount to that because they don't have the lineage. They don't have the connections. They can't, like, can you live off of the interest of your money? Do you need to work for a living? Then you don't live off the interest of your money. Your money's not making money for you. Can you borrow a few $1 million for an investment property if you're struggling and down? You see an apartment complex or some kind of a business, maybe like a old mall you want to recover. Need 100 million startup capital. Can you put a presentation in to your parents and have them cover you? No, okay. Um, can you blackmail a powerful pedophile and get them to give you subsidies? So you just keep getting money. If you answered no to any or all of these questions, you're probably not white. Sorry to burst your bubble. That's white is it is an entitlement. People talk about privilege. It's a lot of impoverished white folks. Um, that's why it's interesting when you start seeing all of the hate directed towards one group of people. Everyone gets shade thrown at them because of like a video of the worst possible event. Just happens someone that has a certain level of melanin, and it's just like everyone who has that level and above, they're evil. it, you know, um, but it's hard to uh, um, look at it objectively coming from Western society. And it's just like so much of the world. I think it's like 62% or 60. It's like over 70 countries celebrate independence from Britain, or even more. Like when you start getting into just like the colonial powers. Um, Yet they still romanticize a lot of the stuff. I think that's a big part of the propaganda. They romanticize European stuff. I was watching uh, Living Single, and like when they start referencing, societies of antiquities, it was like, yeah, oh, Greek god, Roman this, and just like, yeah, they had African flair, but they didn't have like the knowledge. They didn't mention Aksum Empire, Mali Empire, Timbuktu. They did. It was just like always a Eurocentric worldview, and that was supposed to be a black show. Um, yeah, and I talked to so many people who have like these crazy biases, but they never open about it. That's why, in some respect, what is it, Chet the Builder? Um, I value his ability to be vocal about how he feels, to say it out loud. Because a lot of people that call you nigga without using the word, um, and that's why I'm always delicate around that kind of stuff. I had my ex's friend's dad was saying a bunch of racist shit. Everyone thought I was mad at him. I was enjoying it. I was like, because he was just saying some of the craziest shit, and it was just a surprise to me. This motherfucker was he was like, yeah, you guys are going out to Portland and just hunting white people. I'm like, what? You guys, what are you talking about? And he was talking about like some news story. Apparently, black people were going and shooting people in Portland, white people in Portland. I didn't get the memo. I wasn't at the meetings for that one. I had no idea what was going on, but he was just having these generalizations, and it was just confusing as fuck to me. But I found that entertaining. And then, like, we just, he had all these preconceived notions, because ironically, he did what my dad did. And we're talking about like the how he was knowingly poisoned because my dad was working around asbestos, all these other carcinogens. Same with my mom. And, he had nothing but negative shit to say because he just assumed he was surprised. He was like, I'm surprised you're not showing your butt. Got your butt hanging out, sagging. I'm like, what? What kind of just imaginary nigger you got going on in your head? But then we found common ground. And he was like, your dad must have been a good man. That he was the white one. I was like, yeah, showed him a picture. I was like, yeah, my dad, both my parents were black. My mom was raped by a white man, and after she died, my dad raised me. And he was a black person, so it's just like I wasn't raised with a rapist's ideology. And he was commenting on, he was like, yeah, you seem like you were raised proper. I was like, yeah, because the rapist who was a black person who you'd probably look at like a killer. Um, yeah, he was the one who did it correctly. But and he was he ended up the gentleman who I was arguing with. He ended up passing away subsequently. But it's no malice in my heart towards it. People, because everyone kept jumping in between because they think I'm getting butthurt by what he's saying. I was like, no, I find it interesting when like a racist person really opens up on their worldview, because it's just like they got some interesting perspectives, and it's just like they know one black person personally, and they just they could assume all the shit, or they don't know black people, and it's just everything is from the stereotypes they see on TV. And yeah, and for you people who are really in that days, y'all gotta wake up, because the robots are coming, and you're gonna want Jerome and Tycretia and everybody, all the human help you can get when you start seeing the robots being rolled out. Actually, it was a video of a cat. He was talking about, because birth rates are down in America. Like, okay, so what do you want to do? We don't have enough young people to fill our workforce. And the guy was like, yeah, replace me with robots. I'd rather be replaced with robots than brown people. The brown people who are originally from here. The people who their parents were born in this land. Like you do a DNA test, they are connected to this land. Their skin was bronzed here. Yeah, but with Israel, white people, they're supposed to be able to get their land. It was promised to them 3,000 years ago. It's like the narratives it's inconsistent. Like, just why can't we view the brown people as how they want us to view Israel? And if we want to give reparations to white people for what happened in Germany that had nothing to do with us continuing to fund Israel, why can't we give reparations to the people who are the descendants of the ones who built this land? Uh, But yeah, um, and for the little giveaway, I'm probably gonna end up doing it somewhere on on my Patreon. Yeah, give me an excuse to use that. I got other stuff, FIFA gear. I know they're just a shitty. It's a big scam. Everything is. Overthrow it. That's the thing with the holiday is there for. July 4th, all about a revolution. Revolution that needs to continue. We never finished it. Um, the criminals are running shit. We need to be inspired by what they're doing in Albania. How is it that Albania could kick out Trump's family? I mean, look at what they're doing with their fireworks. Someone was like doing fireworks in like an abandoned residential last night, and I was like, why can't we be inspired by Albania? They were throwing fireworks uh, in the Trump buildings, or the Trump affiliated Trump family corruption buildings, the bunkers that they're building for the aftermath of the shit that they're working on. Yeah, how about instead of like bombing, scaring a bunch of local people in your town, you focus all that attention on relevant players in this game, overthrow a lot of the people, like what would like the all of the revolutionaries that you like to think of, what would they do? Like, they had a revolution over tea. Like, no taxation without representation. Do you feel represented? Do you like those big data centers? Kamala Harris back in what was it 2020? She was talking about there are going to be wars for water. She said there will be wars for water. Then they have these big data centers that suck up a fuckload of water. They're only there to really surveil on you, to watch you, and it's just like, why are they watching poor people when the billionaires are the ones on the islands? Billionaires are the ones who are greenlighting all these genocides. They're profiting from it, and they're profiting from creating diseases and then selling you the cure. You know, the revolution is uh, uh, it's not done. So pick up a tool, whatever your tool is. Go at the system, tear it apart, co-opt it, bring your community in, uh, uh, bring all of the Epstein criminals out. I mean, I don't know if you've seen how Nepal did it. People in Nepal, they got sick of all of the corruption. They call them nepo babies. They're like these worthless people. They got all this wealth. They have no talent. They contribute nothing to society. Um, that's America. We just had this system established so long. Like, they believe they earned where they got. They legitimately think they are entitled to all of this shit. That's how Elon Musk. They get like he's just like a just an exemplar of that mentality. Um, and it's just not American. You can go over there anywhere. The whiteness is good. It's like it's as good as a credit card, unlimited. Just whatever he wants. And to the poor caucasoids who like, man, I can't do that. I got to work 3 jobs. Can't pay my rent. Um, Struggling. Don't own a house. Yeah, well, you're not white. You're not a property owner. I know black people who are whiter than you. Um, so it's just that's why you know a lot of, I was at an event, and the first time in a minute, someone opened discussion with asking pronouns. I thought we were past that, but I was just like, yeah, I was like, pronouns are irrelevant to me. I was like, my verbs are unite, revolt, overthrow, right? Because that's what we need to fucking do. So, and especially, I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what's going on with Elaine Brown, but I was able to meet her a few times, few years ago, before she opened up Black Panther housing, and she was housing was open up to the least of these. It's like people chronically homeless, people getting out of jail, where it's just hard for you to find a place to stay. Subsidized housing. She got a large chunk of the money from a lawsuit of being harassed by the state and being assaulted by the state. So she got money from that instead of like investing in herself or something greedy, going to buy some kind of a purse or I don't know, buying a fancy car. She invests in community, building housing for people who are in need. Um, then it's a video of her being the house, the property being broken into by police. Um, and it's just like they couldn't wait for her to come downstairs so someone could talk to them. They broke down this glass door, um, and it's just a disgusting abuse of a power. And the people who are doing the most for the community, especially like the amount of wealth they got. She got this big lawsuit, and instead of keeping it to herself, which anyone else could do, I remember she was talking about Rihanna. It was like someone was talking about black billionaires, we had a Q&A. And she was like, I'm sick of people talking about Rihanna's a billionaire. She was like, what does that mean for the community? She was like, look at who owns her. Um, and just talking about like, even if we do have a few black people with all kinds of wealth, like what are they doing? Are they starting banking? Are they giving housing to the members of the community? And it was just like, she was like, we need accountability. And it was powerful stuff. Ironically, I ended up coming across, I don't know if it's Rihanna's husband or just her partner, like, the ASAP Rocky. And it was just, yeah, long story. Another video. Uh, but yeah, just know your role, shut your mouth. I see a lot of support, a lot of Caucasoid support, understanding that they are not in this the big club, as George Carlin would say. It's a big club and you ain't in it. And if you're not in it, you want a seat at the table. Chances are the only way you'll get there is being food. So wake up, pick up your tool, fight the system, take it down. However you are capable of fighting. Um, it is crazy that people can just normalize the Tea Party. They even had a group Tea Party, and we can't see how fucked up the government uh, um, has become. Your rights have been trampled from the Nuremberg Code to the preamble of the Constitution. Now, what's the resolution to get the mass of people out of destitution? America, my mind, I'm trying to see the best solution. The peaceful guillotines want to see the execution. Got people steady shooting at billionaire homes, but for the time being, it's on the video phone. They know that they're wrong, that why the money is gone. They rack you up with debt but won't leave you alone. We need to start stacking up a clique because they need to atone. Some people want to eat the rich. I leave the meat on the bone because a king's dream won't leave me alone. I just want some peace, freedom, and a piece of my own. But when the crowd grabbed the billionaire eating a scone, the team with a guillotine started singing the song. It went, these were the assholes stealing our riches. Got past the gate, now they shitting their britches. I'm like, OMG, this is getting ridiculous. Let him keep his head. He's a possible witness. It said, your war on the poor was so damn vicious. Say it to our face while you shitting your britches. I'm like, come on, y'all, let the man go. If not for me, but when the police show. Thank God the cops arrived holding popcorn with a weapon on their side. And they said that they ain't prepared to die for this maniac's mandated homicide. Cops saw the... I forgot the rest of it. But hold on one second. Nate, I'm going to need you to rifle instead of a sword. Oh, you need a rifle. The sword cuts through anything. I don't need a rifle. This I can load this motherfucker, unload it, reload it with my eyes closed. You feel me? When the robots come, bang out. It's holy water. Because I know the robots, they're the Antichrist. Flippity bloppity boo. Get my era enema. But yeah. Now, you just gotta stay ready for the robot. It's crazy because I'm getting ads. I am getting ads trying to sell those robots that can go up the stairs with the machine guns on the back and the flamethrower ones, and those are like starting off at like $10,000, and I just think it just $10,000. Yeah, it's not cheap, but you got like some really deranged people. They just have like a good night. They get like an extra $10,000 from selling a kidney or something. I don't know, and then they could just do some sick shit. I shudder at the idea of people having access to that kind of shit where you could just get an ad for a deadly robot. But man, this shit's getting crazy. But really, I was trying to warn y'all. It was it Deadly Technologies of 2023. I made that at the end of 2022. Told all the shit seems like prophecy, but it's really just being able to read. Like they wouldn't do this unless they were planning on doing that. But yeah, nah, we need a revolution. These motherfuckers are crazy. Let's go. Nate, keep the gat on deck. Stay ready. Got to get wet. But it's not that expensive either. Some crazy motherfucker will buy it. Well, yeah, that's the issue. And then we're like showing the bigger robots, the ones that were fighting. China, they're a powerhouse. Um, and it's crazy. I mean, it was a Malcolm X quote. He was talking about the government. They want you to get you mad enough to fight 800 million Chinese, because back then it was only 800 million. He was like, but you won't fight your own government right here. They get you to go halfway around the world, fight somebody who never did nothing to you. But you won't stand 10 toes down for your government right here. And yeah, the enemy is domestic. The call is coming from within the house. I got a lot of family. They're gonna be the ones to be on the front lines. So it's like back in it was a coup in 2016. CIA was trying to do some foolishness on the Turkish government, and then they ended up holding a bunch of servicemen, including some of my family, hostage. Um, And it's just like for all of this crazy shit with the Iran, it's going to be a lot poorer people who do not benefit from the current status quo. They're going to come back and they're going to be treated like shit, live in the streets, get PTSD if they're lucky. Some of them never get the post traumatic stress. It's just continuing traumatic stress, um, all consuming. That's why they got so many suicides, all the moral injury from being a hitman for an evil government. It catches up with you eventually. Got a standing ovation at the BET Awards. We're cooked. Okay, first, I fuck with India Ari. She is like someone who I already got multiple playlists of hers on deck. I am light. But she has some wisdom on that. But like it's crazy. It was someone posting some fucking loser had I seen him before. He got protested. Well, he tried to start a race war in Minnesota. Got his ass kicked um, by a bunch of white people. Then he was claiming it was black people. It was black people who were actually saving him. Um, but yeah, so he went to a BET where he was like black. It had signs: "Black parents are failures." A bunch of negative shit. Um, and we gotta keep in mind, BET Awards is not black culture. BET used to be owned by Bob Johnson. You could argue, man, it at once had a soul. They had like all kinds of soulful programming. They had insight, a street perspective that wasn't demeaning or diminutive. Um, it sought to understand and portray a world that black people understood. Then it got sold to Viacom, like MTV, all that shit is packaged, and it's just like it's programming, like all of that shit. Uh, um, like a lot of these people, the rappers, they're not real hip hop artists. They don't even write their own shit, right? They're word models. Um, hip hop, where it originally started, what it's supposed to be, like like people like KRS-One, knowledge reigns supreme. KRS-One, um, he's still putting out music. He's still enlightening. He's still a teacher. He's like he just doesn't get the spotlight, even though he's a pioneer in hip hop because he remains on the principle that hip hop is an education tool. Right? You got people, um, trying to call it out. It was I had my first interaction with D1 was at a he was opening at a Brother Ali concert, and I heard him speak. I was like, we are simpatico. Like he was a teacher who ended up getting into entertainment, and I was the entertainment who ended up getting into teaching. But it was like the same goal, hip hop is supposed to be just like any medium. When properly used, is supposed to be a vehicle for expressing ideas. Expressing, uh, um, elevating your energy, or you could go the other way. It's like something that you have on replay in your head, and if it elevates you, you're better off. If it brings you down, it's just like yeah, you got to be very cautious with the people who in their media diet. So when getting to know someone, that's like one of the things I always pay attention to, like the shit they listen to, what they watch. If it's just drama, they need that drama. They feed off of that stuff. We are not going to get along. It's going to be so much contention. Um, all of that. That's why KRS One. Uh, uh, like, like, I'm the opposite of these hoes dancing the panties, a truth seeker. I write for people, not a Grammy, a truth teacher. Talk about ancestors and family. Uh, but yeah, you listen to some real shit. Elevate the real shit. I think it sucks. Like the shit that becomes um like broadly attached to the general public's conscious that we could all I could start singing and you'll know it's gonna be garbage. I don't listen to that song. I get ads with that song. I get like shit just thrown at me out of nowhere. I have no um something like Instagram. I only follow people I know personally. None of the matter of fact, it's like it was a chick. She was it was weird circumstances for her. Me meeting her, she was with a dude. Like I don't know him, and I was like I didn't know anything about this situation, but it was like giving off some weird vibes. And then she messaged me on Instagram, and then I didn't add her. I didn't even respond to the whole thing. But like as soon as she did that, my whole algorithm changed where everything, all of my shit became sexual. Like her profile was set to private. I think she was doing some. I think she infected my algorithm. Like I just felt like a pervert. Didn't want to go do anything. It was just like it was this whole trend of women showing their pubic mound like and act. It looked like an innocent video, and then you're just like, "Oh, did I just see her pussy?" Oh, yeah. So, I know. So it's just so much to get into, but yeah, that it's a crazy thing. But then at the same time, the only movie I saw this year was Boosters, which is about boosting a bunch of name brand goods, but it's got all kinds of other deeper stuff. But I fuck with Boost Riley because he's a fellow revolutionary, and yeah, shit. That's a well, that I'll be posting something on Netflix.net, longer form explaining us some stuff. Um, but anyways, internet, I'm getting quite peckish. I did have other obligations. But check out Netflix.net. If you want some of the FIFA gear, there'll be a contest coming up. Other. Uh, I got to get rid of a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be doing a house cooling party where I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff to some of the homies. But I'll have some kind of a giveaway. Figure out how to get the online involved. So don't forget to be good to each other. Peace.